G'day guys, how's it going? Okay, the days are getting longer, which is a good thing. Still not up to Eka time where it's the cold winds come in and oh my god, it's freezing. But, you know, people go and it's a Royal Agricultural Show where farmers come in and have competitions on who's got the best cows, chickens, foods, produce and whatnot. Awesome stuff. It's got more expensive lately, but I mean, still, it's one of those things we're trying to support our local farmers and everything. So, commercialization, lovely. Anyways, the irony of control in kink. What's so ironic about it? Well, you know, you have many people that are really obsessive about, you know, who has the ultimate control. And I've talked about this a lot. How, you know, some people say, oh, you know, the doms have all the control, you know, it's their right because they're my dom, they can do whatever they want. And you have it where they go, no, subs have all the control because they can stop at any time and they can call a halt. And me saying, you know, well, guys, you know, you're in a relationship, either of you can say stop and say no more or opt out. And that's the thing, though. And I've talked to you about how a lot of people say they're the ones in control all the time, but ultimately there's always someone somewhere controlling someone or something which influences you and your decisions and all that sort of stuff. And the things that you can't control, that you can affect, are usually local and in the immediate area, which is why there's a whole lot of global things that go on. And I talk about, you know, starting local and going global or having effect that's global. Now in kink as well, I kind of live by this. It's like, you know, having people in, near and around me, being able to affect them, or, you know, we make jokes about, what is it, me handling my own. He goes, oh, I know you handle me sometimes. I go, well, I know you know that I handle you sometimes. I know you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I handle you. And vice versa. I know he handles me, and I know that he knows that he handles me, and all this sort of other stuff. Yeah, it can go on forever. But the thing is that we're aware about it on a lot of different levels, and we talk to each other openly about it, and just sort of, you know, we make joke and light of it and all that. And some people think of it really, really seriously. Yes, some of this is really serious, but at the same time, you've got to have fun. Otherwise, what's the point in doing it, you know? And when you're no longer having fun, you know, have a talk about it and, you know, decide whether you want to call it quits or try hard or whatever. Too many people these days, when they're no longer having fun, they blame other people for it. And like, it's not fun, or you're not fun anymore, therefore I blame you, and everything in my life is your fault. It's like, no. You're a part of this relationship too, or dynamic event, or whatever. You're a participant. So you'd have to take your own responsibilities. But the control, the irony of it, I guess, I'm not sure if it's the irony or whether it's the whole controlling each other to a certain extent, how, you know, you could act one way, but because you're in the presence of your partner, you act another way, or it stops you from acting in a certain way because of their presence, or the influence, or how you appear. That's a part of the control as well. However, you also got to think of whether it's actually also beneficial for you. Whether, you know, you go, okay, I didn't do this because you were there, and I really wanted to do that, but it was kind of good that you were there because then it stopped me from doing it, because I realised that, you know, that would have been bad or good, or, you know, it kind of encourages you to be, you know, a better you, a better self, moving forward. So, what aspects do you think in your life that you control, aspects that other people may control in your life? My life gets controlled because I have a day job, I go to work every day. The need for money for a lot of people, that's a form of control. Some people think of money as totally a control thing. Me, no, not so much. Money's there, it's useful. I don't think it was a big form of control. Other people are obsessed by it, and they're all about the money. Me, and well, they think that, you know, if they have it, that they can control anybody and everybody. Yeah, they can if they're also motivated by money, but if not, then, well, you lose out, and you can choose to opt out of that whole situation and go, you know what, I'm opting out. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that they lose? No. They actually win, because they're not playing that game anymore. They're playing their own game. So, what aspects in your life do you control unequivocally? Me, emotion reactions, and you can always assert more control, because there's always different situations where, you know, it's become a habit to react that way, or, you know, you by default react that way, and you can change that. So, the ways that you can control yourself, thereby exerting more control over, you know, your life. The more control you get over in your life, the more control you can hand over or exchange with your partner or partners, in a dynamic or a normal relationship. Now, by exerting more control in your life, exercising more control, you can get used to it, which can become a habit, and it can be harder for you to release control. Because you get used to it. But also, is it control in the other areas that you have that you allow other people to take control of as well? That gets a bit sticky. Realistically, control ebbs and flows. You can get used to being in control in one situation, and a lot of people work it so that they unwittingly have control, such as trying to make themselves indispensable. That is a form of control. It means that, you know, you can't get rid of them, you can't do things without them. The best thing for me is to say, well, you know what, I can make it so that I am dispensable, which actually makes me indispensable. How does that work? Gaining control by letting go of control. That's the thing. Letting go of control in areas that you go, you know what, that's taking up too much time, I'd rather be doing something else, and I'll exert more control over this area until it becomes, you know, a habit and much easier, and then I'll release control over that and exert control over these things, you know. Such as, like, I was thinking about doing the whole gardening thing and then setting up automation so I can release control over, you know, having to do all these little things that, you know, while I enjoy, once I have things set up and they can take control of themselves to a certain extent, and I just monitor things. You know, that is a form of control as well. So, in kink, who has control ultimately? Do you come to a level? Do you cede control at certain situations? Do they have control over areas that you don't want control over? You have control of areas that they don't want control over? How does it work? In general, I take care of a lot of little day-to-day things, and I, you know, touch base and communicate with my partner and my owner or other people, or even people in my team, and, you know, let them know where you're at, just so that, you know, you're all on the same page, you're not doubling up on work and doubling up responsibilities and control and all that jazz. So, anywho, night noodle markets are still on at South Bank. Last week, this week, to the weekend on Sunday, and there's also quite a few things going on at the art gallery. So I encourage you to go out to your local festivals, local events, local art stuff. Take some time out, take a day off or half day or whatever, and let go a bit of that control, or take more control over your private life, work-life balance. Anyways, I think I've rambled on enough. Love you guys. Hump day. See ya.